in that game. A lot of people, he does have a lot of fans. He's been around for a long time, like since the beginning even of StarCraft 2. So like this guy, you know, he definitely has a lot of fans. And coming out here against herO in a PvP, I say I favor herO, but crazier things have happened. Like we've seen crazier upsets than someone like YongHwa able to defeat herO or something like this. So definitely don't count this guy out yet. He's very good at preparing a build, you know, for a best of one. One of those players that you like to point out in that facet. And if herO's not on his game, YongHwa could definitely take a build order win.
Yeah, well, I mean, YongHwa's the type of player who in PvT plays extremely turtle-based. He's very defensive, but in PvP he has shown all sorts of different types of aggression. He's also shown, you know, solid sentry expands, for example. YongHwa's the type of player who, you know, has done a cannon rush on a 4-player map. He has, you know, proxied 2 gates on a 4-player map. He's not afraid to do that, and that makes him a scary opponent. This is a 2-player map in Sejong Station as well, so a lot of proxy locations for starports, for example, or star gates in this matchup. But we'll have to wait and see what he does. This guy, definitely the more consistent player.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at his results so far in Pro League, 68 and 44. Great record there, over 60%. So far, he's 2-1, and versus Protoss, that is a crazy amount of games, especially in last season. He was the most winning player, tied with SOS, up at 20 wins, and a lot of those were PvPs.
I mean, 15 ace match games. 15 ace match games.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's all we have to say, guys. Even though his win rate is not even that high in ace matches, he's playing against the best player every time he does.
I mean, yeah, you said that yesterday as well. It's the best player on the other team that you're going to face, or like a very specific player, like a snipe player possibly. And just to be 50% there is pretty hard as well.
I mean, it's almost like they don't even need to show the win ratio. They just need to show how many times he's been in ace matches. That's all I'm concerned about. All right, guys, let's go into King Sejong Station for the second match, this PvP between YongHwa and herO.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Protoss player for MVP, it is YongHwa.
And looky here. It's actually herO, his opponent in blue, who sends the probe early on. So, you know, we do see YongHwa do cheesy things a lot of the time in this matchup, but this time it's herO. Now, knowing herO, man, there's no way he's going to 2-gate proxy, right? He's going to do the 1-gate core, maybe the Stalker Rush, or perhaps do just Mothership Core Pressure. I really don't think we're going to see him do 2 gates. That's just not... Yeah, it's too all-in for herO.
Yeah, it's kind of fallen out of style as well. I believe we've seen herO actually do this on Overgrowth last season, and he is definitely a guy who is very well able to pull off a build like this. Pylon placement is interesting because if YongHwa goes for a scout at all, he's going to see this.
And this means that he's studied in YongHwa's recent PvPs that he does not scout on this map, at least to the best of what he's been able to research from hearing from other teammates, perhaps rumors, finding VODs, anything he can.
Like, look at this.
This actually looks like he's going to do a 2-gate, actually. Let's wait and see. Nah, he's making too many probes. He can't. But YongHwa's going to scout this. And this is going to get really interesting. Let's see how he responds once he sees that he's been scouted. First of all, goes right into the main base for a very brief moment, and decides to send that probe home.
You can see some obvious discomfort on herO's face right now. He's like, oh man, he actually went for the scout.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 gates, Stalker. So this build, you cut probes so that you have enough money to rush the Stalkers out.
Yeah, he stopped at 12. That's going to be it. Whereas YongHwa just have that 1 gate coming out here. You just have a 2nd gate on the way.
Part of the reason why you cut probes in this is so that you don't have to make a pylon, because that costs so much time, as well as, you know, it's 100 extra minerals that you have to spend when you're trying to rush this Stalker sort of build out. And if you don't get momentum with your faster Stalkers and the faster production, you know, in that quick rush distance that you have from the proxy, then your opponent's economy just overpowers you. So he wants to, if he can, with his probe and his zealot, pick off any of these probes. Makes such a huge difference. And he's got that probe to buddy up with him, to team up, tag team on these probes. Almost gets one.
One probe extremely low, 3 health. We do have Chrono boosted 2 Stalkers out here from herO so far, a bit ahead of YongHwa.
Yep. So
he's got that going for him.
Probes will be pulled here. That pylon for high ground vision here. And herO, any damage he can get done is so significant, actually. Because we're talking the Stalkers he's going to have slightly faster here, the ones that are walking in right now. We're going to get 1 or 2 extra shots off, and that could be the difference between winning and losing right now. Wants to target those Stalkers down if he can, because Stalkers do bonus damage against Stalkers.
It's all about the micro here, boys. We do have 4 probes pulled for YongHwa. He knows that he has the extra probe count here, and already the Zealot of herO going down.
Yeah.
And so far, YongHwa still has the higher probe count, so he's doing a decent job so far. He keeps that Zealot alive.
He lost a little bit of mining time, but he definitely has the better mining overall. And it's 3 Stalkers versus 3 Stalkers with a Zealot to tank, as well as probes that could come off the line. But he makes 2 Zealots here because he doesn't have that extra money from cutting probes. And this is the one chance that herO's going to have here when he has the better Stalker count. He's going to have to kite against these Zealots and target Stalkers. This is his opportunity. But I feel like he might have already run out of time. Now that the high ground is controlled, that could just be the turning point here.
Yep. Again, another Zealot made by YongHwa. So he's got 3 Zealots now. He's making 2 Zealots. Now he pulls some more probes.
Yeah,
so
because
5 in the mix.
Unless you have the same Stalker count as your opponent, the Stalkers are always going to be able to kite those melee units, exactly like we're seeing from herO right now. Now killing, if he can, he right-clicks on the ground, move command, and then right-clicks on the Stalker. That's the micro technique here.
Yep, just barely losing that Stalker was herO. Again, the slightest mistake, the slightest movement in the wrong direction can lose you a Stalker like that. We've seen it many times before.
Oh, the probes are going to try to trap him! And he does! He is successful, which gives those Zealots those very key hits. And
and they get us around on one of those Stalkers.
That should be it. So much damage done here, and he's got another Stalker about to pop out.
And he's got 3 Zealots, 4 Zealots actually, excuse me. And now he's going to send those probes back to mining.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of mining time during this. And again, it's 2 versus 2 Stalkers, and those 2 Stalkers from herO actually have full health.
Yep, herO's got to do some insane micro from here on out to win this one.
I just don't know if this is going to be possible. He could almost just hold position the Zealots in a wall at the top of the ramp. YongHwa even took his hands off the keyboard for a second, man. If he loses that pylon too, he's going to get supply blocked. All right, 3v3, you can just tank with the Zealots and right-click. I feel like herO's just a much more confident player in this case. Actually, just go ahead and target that down, yeah. Okay.
Now that's going to supply block herO. He cannot make any more Stalkers. We got 2 more coming out here for YongHwa.
He can't break that ramp with 3 Zealots at the top. He can't right-click past. There's no way. Just not doable. So he's losing too much time, which means it's going to be 5 Stalkers to 4, plus the Zealot problem. The probe count's the same right now for these 2. But this is just going to get worse and worse, especially considering the production is actually, in range to get sieged here by these Stalkers on the high ground even. All right, he's just going to try to burst this down. If he kills the pylon, the game's over, but he can pretty much do whatever he wants at this point. herO is dead.
herO, he's just trying to transition back at home. Like you were saying before, it doesn't look quite good, especially because he doesn't have any more gates at home. He's making 1 at home. He does remake that cybernetics core, and he does have that mothership core out now.
I think he's going to type out. This is like...
He may just try to survive with the Nexus Cannon, try to, maybe get some sentries, some force fields on the ramp, survive for a bit here. But I feel like YongHwa could just easily transition into Blink.
herO is so confident. I think he's really mad, too, actually. Look at this. YongHwa leaves his Zealot at home because he knows there's a possibility of this. herO trying to run by with Stalkers. Gets scouted. And, in fact, there's nothing at home to deal with this. I just don't know if the Mothership Core is going to be able to buy enough time for these Stalkers to do the damage that it's going to take to save him here. Well, I guess we'll find out. herO certainly thinks he has a chance. He's staying in this game. Few probes going down already here.
Yep, he's doing a decent job trading. Does lose a Stalker, though, and that Nexus Cannon is not ready. 3 more energy.
It's not ready yet. So close. There it goes. You can just target probes individually here.
That is so many Stalkers, and the Zealots in the mix as well.
Just one-shotting probes here. herO now barely any probes left. Needs to target those Zealots. There he goes. Gonna kill that last Stalker. And that really should be the final screw in the coffin, man, at this point. The final bolt, man. He's like duct taped it together too. He is dead. He's angry. He's not leaving this game. He's really frustrated.
Yeah, you can
Build
see
got
it.
scouted.
GG.
GG indeed.
Wow, okay, like I was saying before, PvP, interesting matchup. YongHwa able to take this one against herO. Definitely the favorite player, but that makes this one 1-1 now. Tied up between CJ Antis and MVP.
YongHwa, man, he was playing like almost too safe at times. It's almost as like he was so scared that if herO got one edge in the micro fight, he couldn't win. Like, he respected herO as an opponent so much. He was like, I'm not even going to try to just take one fight and finish him off. I'm gonna make sure I am 120% safe, because if I miss micro one time against this guy, he's better than me and he's gonna beat me. Yeah. That's what I saw in that micro out of YongHwa.
I'm just not sure myself. Like, herO, he went for a very interesting build where he was going for a proxy with the one gate at first, but it was right in the line of the scout. I feel like maybe, you make that behind the mineral line, or you make it where, Classic did it against State in State's first game here at Pro League, and you can hide it, and YongHwa's just not in the know if he's not going to scout. But he just decides to make it, that little inch forward to make it a little bit closer.
Well, if it's closer, it has a better chance of working if it's unscouted, for sure. It's much more successful that way.
I feel like what you said before about YongHwa just being known maybe not to scout in PvP on this map could definitely have been information that herO had gotten. He's going to be like, okay, I can definitely do this build. When people don't scout, this build wins 100% of the time, basically.
I mean, who knows, man? I haven't seen herO that hurt after a loss since, like, he lost to Rain in the playoffs last season. I mean, this was like the face I saw it. If herO was almost like the coach said, you have to proxy. And he was like, but I could just beat him in a straight game. He's like, no, I want you to proxy. And he's like, okay. And he's like, he scouted, coach. He scouted. Could have beat him in a regular game. Why'd you make me do that?
That's what I was going to say as well. Like, I feel like herO definitely could have just played a straight-up game, try to expand or something, and just go later and won. But interesting build, interesting choice there. And that's going to lead right into another PvP, Seed versus Hush. It's 1-1.
Yep, 2 PvPs back-to-back, and as mentioned earlier, just straight-up mirror matchups all day today, or at least all in this first match that we're going to have for tonight. Before we go to that second PvP, though, we're going to have a 2-minute break, guys. We'll be right back.